Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, hi everyone. This is Akash Bhagat, and with me right now is Sangeet Sadanan. Okay, who is the member of our core team in the Data Talk field or the Data Talk community. We have started around 12th of August 2020. Okay, and then we are growing further, and currently we are just moving to the new platform like Minds, which is a community dedicated platform. And with us right now, I think Sashank is there, who is our guest speaker for the day, and we'll be moving forward to see his views on future and scope of data science. So I would like to introduce you all to the journey that we have from start till now, that how we have started and what our mindset before creating this community, and further at what position we are right now. So during the pandemic time, when there is a lot of job issues being created globally, so what we really thought is that we can help at least in the data science field with certain opportunities among us who have capable enough knowledge or capable enough contacts, in which we can land up to some initial fresher or a bit experience level job with certain reference and opportunities. So I think we have shared that we are starting our community with the name of data science enthusiast, and this has happened on the day of 12th August 2020. And then we have moved forward, and within around 7 to 10 days we have ended up completing 100 members on our WhatsApp group. So all are there to help each other or other members who are a bit lost their jobs, and because of the pandemic situation or whatever the reasons has happened. And we are trying to find references and other things that will help them to get landed on the job, and further to improve their professional quality in data science field. Further we have moved on to the weekly meeting discussions. So what we really does is that we'll have a weekly Zoom discussions through our WhatsApp community. So almost there each week we'll try to communicate with each other for around 30 minutes to understand what innovative steps we can take further, or what we can do further to make our community more helpful or more relatable towards data science field. What extra we can do in this group, what are the other things that we can start in this group. So all these kind of thoughts we have just started sharing with each other, and come up with some positive thoughts that we may have special guest sessions from the different industry who can help us to grasp the idea that what kind of problems they are facing and how they are trying to solve it. And we may have a podcast for these kind of useful insights, that how different industry dealing with the data, and how they are using data science skills or data science capability for their day-to-day problem and solution making. So after we have gone for the weekly meeting, we have released our first YouTube session, I think on 15th of November. So in that release, what we have told to the what is our main motive during this release is that for every data science work we needed data, and data uh, to be collected from scratch is what being utilized in different organizations, or that can make a bit more sense, that from where we can collect a lot of data and we can make sense with that data. So what we really does in that first YouTube session is that we have taken a particular website and have a bit introduction or explanation that how we can collect a different data that is available on that website in a proper formatted manner, so that further we can make any output on that data, or further we can make any comment on that data, that whether this data having some sort of information that can be used for certain insights or not. So this is our first session. And then recently we have a bit continuous discussions, and now we have just tried to move on with the like-mind community dedicated app. So I would like to give a bit brief idea. Then I'll hand over to Himanshu, and he'll be giving how the like-mind app is developed and how it is helping community builders to grow further. For us, it's a very good and supportive application that we have find out till now. As in community, what happens that in a lot of if in a lot of different capable people, we just want to focus on certain things that is more relatable to us, and that application help us with that kind of capability. Like if somebody is looking for Kaggle competitions and participants for that Kaggle problem solving. So they can just put that kind of detail in a particular chat room that is completely dedicated for Kaggle peoples. In the same way, if somebody's want to make certain pre-processing in certain data sets, so we have also there is a chat room available for only discussions around pre-processing of different kinds of data. So you can post there your result problems, and we can try to find out other peoples who are more relatable with that field. So this is what we have started and we are moving forward with. And next, I would like to hand over to Himanshu to tell a bit more about Like Minds and how we are going to utilize further, or how this platform help community builders to do a bit more than what they are doing till now. So, yeah, Himanshu.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Akash.
please.
Thank
Yeah,
you for the introduction. Thank you for welcoming me in this
yeah,
event.
welcome.
Yeah, welcome everyone, and thank you, Sangeet. Thank you, Shashank. He's our guest speaker for today. So thanks a lot for being here.
Right, right.
Uh, so my name is Himanshu Khubani, and right now I'm working with Like Minds, okay, as a community success manager, and we help community managers and builders to build out their communities on our platform. Okay, so basically, Like Minds is a mobile first platform for community builders and managers, and it is designed to build, you can say, micro communities based on your interest. Okay, so like one of the feature I want to highlight is that you can create chat rooms, okay, for each conversation or discussion you want to do with your fellow community members. Okay, and like through this way you can have engaging and outcome driven conversations, okay, which is not there on WhatsApp. Like right now we have a group on WhatsApp, but if you want to start various topics at the same time, it is not possible, right? Like people are coming and they are giving their inputs, but there is no outcome driven discussion. Okay, so that's why we came up with the hero feature, this chat room thing, where you can uh, create chat rooms based on your uh, like topics of interest, and you can have a discussion, like whatever whoever is there in the community and he want to do company with the topic, he can come there and he can discuss things with you. So yeah, gradually like more people can join and they can discuss uh, like one topic in a one chat room. So that is our hero feature, you can say, from the app. And similarly, there are more features like you can create custom sign up forms for your community, and all the community members will be having a community specific profile after they join the community. Okay, like again, I will just take the reference of WhatsApp. There is no profile you can see. Okay, you just have the number of the of that person, right? And you don't know like what he is doing in that domain. So here we are just like Akash has created custom form, and you all will be filling that form while joining, and your profile will be created based on that form. Okay, so you can see like what others are doing, what are their interests, what are their skills. Okay, where they live, all these things, just to connect in a better way, right? So this is the whole idea of community. We can connect better within a community. So yeah, and there is a lot more you can explore by joining the Data Talk community on Like Minds. And I'm really hoping to see all of you like who have attended this event today. I am hoping that you all will join the community there, and like you are going to learn the data science in a really different way. Like till so far we have the WhatsApp group, I know, and Akash has put in so much efforts there as well, and he wants to take this community on another level, and we are helping him out with all the things, like all the aspects of community building and management, and how we can put content that interest members, right, from the same domain. So yeah, I won't take much of the time. I think uh, yeah, that's all, I guess. We can continue with the session we have
Yeah,
with
right,
Shashank.
right.
I think that was enough, right, Akash?
Yeah, right, right.
Or
Thank
you
you.
want
Thank
me to?
you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
No, 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 no. I think that is what really needed right now, actually. So I would
Mhm.
like to have a bit idea that what we really lack during building community over WhatsApp is that we don't know that with what profile certain one is
Mhm.
coming with, right?
Right,
And
right,
with
right.
this application, we are getting a bit of idea that yeah, this he is a person and he's coming with that kind
Mhm.
of or that sort of profile. So
Right, right.
we can raise the right question to the right person, right? And
Definitely,
as
definitely.
this is
Plus, you can
his field of
segregate these members based on their interest, right?
right,
Someone is
right,
coming
right,
from data
and
science, someone
yeah,
is coming from machine learning. So you can
yeah,
start segregating these members, and you can
yeah,
start involving them in different chat rooms, right?
right, right. So this is
Based on their interest and in skills.
yeah. So this is one plus point, and the other one is the dedicated chat room system that is available with the like mind, right? So
Right, right, right.
I
Mhm.
don't have to involve in something that is not completely my focus, right?
Right,
So we
right,
can
right.
just target the right chat room and connect with the right people who will be ready to
Mhm.
help me because they are passionate about that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is what really a helpful insight. So I think with this I would like to invite our guest speaker, Shashank Amavarapu. So hi Shashank. uh,
Hi
I would
guys.
like, yeah, I would like to give a bit idea that how we have started. uh, Initially when we are trying to launch the community, we are really looking for someone who have a great insight and great knowledge and will just add value to uh, the thought that we are trying to make through this community launch event. And I would really like to thank Shashank for being such a great supportive at the initial position and in further while different communications that we gone through. And yeah, right now we are here with him. So I'll just give a brief idea. So he have worked around for 2 years with the HDFC Bank as a data scientist, and now he is with the Ugrow Capital. It's a finance firm, I think, right, Sashank? And he is currently as a data scientist. Right? So I
Yeah.
think this is your stage, Sashank. You can start.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, Thanks, guys. Thanks for such a generous introduction. Uh,
Right.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you have reached out to me because all of us have walked into the field of data science from different paths in our life. Me
Right.
myself,
Right.
I'm a biological sciences graduate, undergraduate, and I'm doing data science as of now. So uh, I've learned through communities. and like-minded people try to come together, and you can learn better and you can progress in a better way. So I think that's the idea of the whole community, I guess.
Right, right.
So a short intro about me. So I did my post graduation in data science, especially in business applications of data science. Post that, I have had a short stint with American Express. I was with HDFC Bank almost for around 2.5 years, and recently I've joined Ugro Capital, uh, which is an NBFC, and it's into MSME sector lending business. So uh, that's about me. So I come from a data science background, and my expertise lie in the financial uh, domain of things. So thought, as this is a relaunch event, I thought probably I would start off with giving a brief intro into data science. What is it about? What are the different skill sets you might need to do data science? And what are the different applications where data science is being widely used currently? And probably like if you're starting off your career in data science, what are the different career paths you might come across, and you might go through in becoming a data scientist, right? So yeah, let's start off. So if you look at these three spheres of here which coincide into data science, right? Uh, so I would say these would be broadly basic pillars of data science, where mathematics core piece of data science. So let's think what data science is, right? It's basically a set of experiments you are doing on data to try and find certain insights, right? So you have a certain hypothesis and you want to do that experiment and support that hypothesis with your with your findings and so on, right? So that's where statistical research come into play. Like you have found some insights on the data which you had, and you have done certain experiments, and you want to say with a certain confidence that this prediction or an insight which I've seen is mathematically significant, right? So that's where your statistics come into play, and all those predictions have been done on your data using it might be a simple linear formula to a complex non-linear equation. So that's where machine learning comes into play. So both have strong for both you need strong foundations in mathematics so as to understand those statistical concepts and machine learning algorithms, right? So on the same page, like when you are trying to make certain insights on data science, right? So it basically you need data, and some of the industries where there is huge data available, it's finance industry and health industry, and many other industries such as logistics or let's say sports, hospitality, and all these industries produce lots and lots of data. So when you are generating certain insights, so you might be finding evidence through certain parameters saying okay, these are the patterns I'm looking from my model, and these support my hypothesis or these doesn't support my hypothesis. So are those parameters by pure coincidence, or do they have correlation also, or what is it actually happening behind those patterns? Can you find some use cases? Can you find some explanation uh, behind the predictions of your model or something like that? So that's where your domain expertise comes into play, where you have good knowledge of the data on which you are doing these experiments on, so that you can do the data processing in a much more intelligent way, and that way your models or your algorithms are tuned in a much more smarter way, and you have smarter predictions happening. Uh, to happen both of these, like to make sure the machine learning happens in a proper way, the statistics and the data processing happens, everything in a seamless way, you need computer science. So if you think about data science and the mathematical algorithms or uh, proofs, which they have been lying here around since so many decades. This research has been done far away from, like, a century back, right? But right now, due to the advantage of computer science, all these huge amounts of data can be processed and accessed in a matter of minutes, right? So when you can access and process them at such a less amount of time, it makes it easier for you to derive those insights, right? So computer science, or let's say big data, what the term which goes around a lot, right? So these contains of different architectures, which make sure that all the data, all huge amounts of data which you are processing, uh, integrate seamlessly with a data scientist, so that you can bring in the data you need, you can do your models and you can publish them, so that you know that it can be all your results and insights can be accessed by your organization seamlessly. That's how all these three spheres work together. And uh, in the journey of becoming a data scientist, you can start from any end of the sphere, but if you want to master data science and if you want to be at the core of it, probably you need to have a decent bit of idea of all these three spheres of mathematics, domain expertise, and big data, so that you can do your data science projects in a better way, right? Can you please move on to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, so yeah, when it comes to machine learning, right, so uh, broad classification of machine learning, you can think of, you have data and you want to do certain predictions, right? So supervised learning is all about you have certain labeled data, such as let's say due to corona, there were lots and lots of chest x-rays being taken, right? You want to understand from a chest x-ray if that person has is COVID-19 positive or not, right? So that's a labeled problem. Or in my financial domain, it's usually like the default prediction problem. So how do you, when a new customer comes in to the bank to take a loan, how do you assess their risk profile? Are do they tend to be a defaulter or not? So all all those are labeled data, and that's if you are trying to predict the a labeled data set, then it's supervised learning, because you're trying to predict something which is there, right? And how does the model learn by itself, or how does the machine learn by itself and gives out the best prediction model to you, right? That's an error mechanism. Like, you already have a set of labels and you are trying to predict them, and you see why the machine sees when it's predicting the initial model, how good is the error and how bad is the error. If the error is bad, it tries to go back and tweak and make it a better prediction. That's how model updates its parameters, and that's how you have a good defined model. That's supervised learning in a crisp. Unsupervised learning. So when it comes to unsupervised learning, you have lots of data. Let's say you have a huge customer prospect to customer base where you want to market certain products, right? Now you want to segment these customers according to their likes and interests. So how would you do that? You want to understand from the data itself, what are the important factors that would influence a community's likeness, and that community can form a group by itself. So that's where unsupervised learning comes into play. So you have a lot of data and you want to create smaller groups of it in a much more intelligent manner based on the variables of in this data, how varied are these variables in each of these communities, right? So that's where unsupervised learning comes into play. There is one more part to it, which is quite recent and which has very groundbreaking results as well. That is reinforcement learning. That is something where you have an output. The model tries to predict it on the go. Uh, let's say something like in driving, so self-driving cars. So you're driving on the road, you see an obstacle, then you need to push stop. You the there is no obstacle, there is a straight line going in, and you want to shift lanes. These are certain applications of reinforcement learning. Or else there's a famous program by DeepMind, which is an AlphaGo, which plays games against a human and tries to beat it, right? So those are some decisions which are being made dynamically. So there is a feedback loop or a reinforcement loop where if each decision is right, the model gets a reward point saying that you need to make more such decisions which will be right. And if it makes a false this thing, there is a reinforcement signal which says you get negative points because you have done something wrong. So you need to improve yourself in that domain. That way, dynamically on the go, your model is tweaking and learning live. So that calls out for certain futuristic applications such as self-driving cars or so on and so forth. So these three, I can say, are broadly major classification of different types of machine learning happening out there. Can you please change the slide? Thanks. Yeah. So so when you talk about scope of data science, right, you cannot just restrict to only these which I could show on the slide as of now, but there are huge many applications, and wherever you find a good decent amount of data, you can consider doing a good amount of data science experiments around there. But right now in this slide, I'm giving out certain major applications where data science has really made an impact out there. So basic supervised learning, as we said, where there is a label available and you are trying to predict something. By the way, I mean, if you guys want to interrupt me anytime, please do so.
Yeah, right. If somebody have any questions, they can communicate. Right.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we've talked about supervised learning a bit. So it has two parts to it. It's either a classification problem or a regression problem. So when I say it is a classification problem, you are trying to predict if a certain set if a certain set of people, or if a certain set of observations belong to a particular class, or so basically in my field, it's we do a lot of prediction into a person being a defaulter or a non-defaulter. That's a classification problem. Or else an image classification problem, such as you have an image and you want to find out what are all the objects lying in the image. If there is a dog, there is a park, it's a football ground, there are players, there's a goalpost or something like that. So all these are different classes you are trying to predict. So that becomes a classification problem. But simultaneously there can be a regression problem as well, where there are certain logistical applications where in a supermarket you would want to know how much stock do you want to keep of a certain product, right? or else there is weather forecasting. You would want to understand what would be the climate tomorrow, or is there a hurricane hitting your town or something like that. So all the continuous numbers, it's not like distinct classes you are trying to predict, but it's a continuous number which you are trying to predict. So it becomes a regression problem there. Yeah, and unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning uh, largely consists of two kinds of this thing. One is clustering and the other one is dimensionality reduction. So when I say clustering, we have talked about it, like if you want to look at customer segmentation so that you can target, do better marketing and so on, that's where you can use clustering algorithms, where people with similar interests, people with similar behavior might find us, might form a certain group, and you can give targeted ads to those people. And when it comes to recommender systems, mostly your Netflix, Amazon, recommendations, where you're shown what kind of movies you like. There are certain recommendations which say, because you have watched a certain movie, there is a high likeliness of you watching another movie. Right? That how does that happen? You're clustering people with similar interests, similar kind of behavior in watching movies, or in similar kind of behavior in doing purchasing over Amazon or Flipkart. So that's how recommendation systems work, and that's where you try to cluster people with similar interests and similar behavior and try to segment them and push specific recommendations to them, right? And there is a dimensionality reduction problem, right? So in the real world, when you deal with data, there is huge amounts of data. For if you are trying to understand the person's behavior, there is a social media data, there is financial data, uh, there is his buying behavior, there is spending behavior. So there is a huge amount of data, right? But how do you try to visualize it? As a human, you can only visualize it in a three-dimensional way. Right? So if you're trying to visualize this huge amounts of data, then the dimensionality reduction plays a huge role. And also, uh, you can't or you need not need all these factors going into your model and trying to influence decision about a certain problem. So you want to reduce the amount of parameters going into your model. So that's also a place where dimensionality reduction plays an important role. And recently, yeah, structured discovery, when you talk about it, recently uh, there has been an invention into protein folding. So you want to understand the structure of protein and how does it look like and so on. That there also a dimensionality reduction plays a huge role. In financial data sets, there is lots of information into transactional databases, uh, what time it has been done, which ATM, which sales machine, which sales outlet, what mode of transaction, is it a Visa, is it a MasterCard, is it a UPI transaction? So there are like various dimensions leading into a single transaction, but you might not need all of these to understand if that transaction is a fraudulent transaction or not. So you want to reduce your factors to a certain limit, and that way you want to identify only important factors out of your data. That's where dimensional reduction comes into play. Yeah. Then there is a concept of reinforcement learning, which is new, which is evolving quite fastly, where the decisions are being made on the go. Uh, you want to evaluate each and every decision made by the machine. So as we spoke about it, if let's say if it's a if a robot is playing a game, It's a chess. If he's able to uh, win the match, then all his strategies, all his moves get positive feedback. And if he's losing a piece, losing a pawn, losing a knight, or losing the game, all those moves, all those strategies get a negative point. So you are making decisions on the go, and that's where reinforcement learning is playing. All the self-driving cars of Tesla or any other company which you see across, or the SpaceX or rockets launching into sky on their own, all these are some examples of reinforcement learning, decisions being made on the go. Yeah, that's a bit of scope of data science. As I said, it's not the entirety. There is lots and lots, many other scopes of data science, but this is a brief of what I've found most important. Yeah, can we please move on to the next slide? Uh, so if we think about careers in data science, right? All of us have walked through different paths in our life. As I said, myself, I did my post graduation from biological sciences, and I did a master's and post graduation in data science. Uh, so my core expertise lied in statistics and machine learning. Uh, as and when I moved into financial domain, I slowly started understanding the business, how the banking business works, how the lending business works, what are the risk parameters, different risk parameters, and so on. Slowly started understanding the data, so that whatever statistics knowledge I had, whatever machine learning knowledge I had to use it to make it meaningful observations or meaningful insights. Right? So that's a career path I have walked through. But you might come from various backgrounds. Right? As we said, data engineers or data architects uh, who are majorly dealing into data warehousing, who are the owners of all the different kinds of data that is flowing into your organization. Right? They also form a very important player in data science. For a data scientist to successfully model or uh, derive insights from the data, he needs to seamlessly uh, access the data, and all his insights has to be accessed by the entire organization so as to make quicker and intelligent decisions. Right? That's being made possible by these data engineers. So they have a lot of expertise into understanding different data types, different data architectures, how faster processing can be done. And if you are a data engineer and if you are interested in pursuing data science, then you can slowly as you are a data engineer in a certain domain, you would understand the domain also pretty well. So you might slowly evolve into understanding statistics, machine learning a bit, and you can also come into data science from that path. And yeah, and there are data analysts. So once a model is built by a data scientist, so who is there to evaluate these models all the time? So there are different scorecards which are being generated uh, in each organizations. For example, for us in banking industry, we look at customers bureau scores, or we look at his banking score, or which actually means how he's doing good in bureau, or how he's doing good in banking with the bank. Or application scorecard is something like how good is he in demographics, what is his income, and so on and so forth. But once I, as a data scientist, if I build a model, this has to uh, follow certain guidelines. This has to uh, keep certain benchmarks into identifying those uh, people as defaulters or non-defaulters uh, to a certain accuracy, right? So who gets to check all these things? So there are data analysts who can take this model and apply it to the live data which is coming in, and see how the model is performing and give feedback, live feedback. And if a model over time, the, the model might not be that effective as the time it was built, because the model has been built on a past data, and future the data might be changing a lot, being in a real world scenario, and these models might need tweaking. So these data analysts are those people who are taking these models and trying to evaluate these models on a regular basis, uh, and see how good are they performing or not, right? So even if you're a data analyst, you need to have a good understanding of data science, because you're using those models and evaluating those models, right? And slowly, if you want to become a data scientist and do build a model from scratch and get the insights from scratch, you can also build up from there, trying to get your skills sharper in terms of algorithms, in terms of data science, and then move up the ladder, something like that. So these are broadly different career paths I see, but there are lot many career paths from which you can come in. So data analysts can also be those people who have deep business knowledge, and till now you have been making decisions using some basic statistics on an Excel, but now you want to do complex statistical equation or complex machine learning algorithm. You want to move in into data science, yeah, because you have that domain knowledge, that rich domain knowledge, which makes you see through the use cases, see through the data really easily. You can pick up the other skills and become a data scientist also. So yeah, these are broadly different career paths in data science, I see. So yeah, that's all from my side. Thanks, guys. I hope I was helpful.
So, thank you very much, Shashank, for giving your thoughtful insights on a different kind of environment and the kind of capability that data science bring itself with. So, like that you have initiated like a mathematics, computer science, and the domain expertise together help the data science to make certain analysis, right? To help the data to make certain understanding with the data. So yeah, domain knowledge play a very great role, and it is needed to understand that what meaning that data is giving to us, and what meaning is need to be provided with using these data. Apart from it, you have also covered a bit about supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. That is in current demand, and most of the companies are using it. Like in case of financials, there are a lot of data that is available with the bank or NBFCs, and they have certain output that they have seen in the previous data structures, and they are trying to make it more accurate for the upcoming problems. And in the same way, like reinforcement learning, that will be this price based or very supportive like what we can say, reinforcement learning is being used, I think, in most of the
If you ask me in a
automotive
financial,
industry, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry to interrupt. So if you ask me from a financial standpoint of view,
yeah,
you try to push, let's say, a particular variant of credit card, right?
right,
Right now, me as I might be like to travel a lot, right? So if you push me certain travel cards, that is a positive reinforcement to the model, because I like traveling and you are giving me traveling incentives, and it's a positive reinforcement to the model itself. Or else you the mode of approach you are doing to me, right? You are doing to me on a mobile or an email or an uh, Facebook ad. So which is a touch point I'm actually trying to look at, right? That's also a reinforcement. So
right.
and the model tries to tweak it, and is it the correct recommendation? Is it the correct mode of recommendation? If yes, yeah, it's a plus point. If no, it's negative point. So something on the
Right. And then he have just given a great insight about the three main domain that is being very vastly accepted in different forms, that is data analyst, data engineers, and data scientist. And what kind of expertise that these people should get or make themselves comfortable with, so that to make themselves more positive or more relatable towards the job profile. So I think that's a great insight from Shashank, and I would like to thank him for being such a supportive for all these points to be covered up in this limited time period. Next, I would like to move on to the LikeMind application demo, and I think Himanshu, should we go for this application demo?
Yeah. Hey, Akash.
Yeah.
I think that won't be available. Like right now, I'm out, so network is very low. So
Okay, okay.
I
So
won't be able
I'll
to
do
present
one
it.
thing. I'll just give a bit brief idea about our application, that the
Right.
LikeMind
Like
application. Okay.
you can present your screen. Like
Right,
from
right.
you can join from phone and
Sure, sure. So I would like to just give a bit presentation that how this LikeMind application is being built and how this application will help our community grow in a better way in the ongoing time period. So I think everybody can see my screen right now. Is it visible, Sangeet?
yeah.
Yeah. So you all can see that this is the opening section of the LikeMinds app. For getting onboarded into this, you have to just download the LikeMind app, and from there you have to give a brief idea that with what profile you are coming up with, so that everybody that is a part of the community can see and understand your profile. So this is our community data talk that you can see right now. I'll just try to click on this. So you can see that there is an active chat room and there is an inactive chat room. So active chat rooms are those which is very relatable to you, and you want only that kind of communication to be happened with you. So that comes under active chat rooms, and in inactive chat rooms, all those sort of communication that is not very relatable to you, or you may or may not take interest in. So all those chats are considered under inactive chat rooms. And so I'll just try to give a brief idea that what these chat rooms are. Now you can see that there is a chat room named NLP Computer Vision. So all those problems that can be uh, in need of NLP modeling or computer vision kind of problem solving can be discussed in this chat room. So this is completely dedicated for NLP and computer vision problems. In the same way, there is a data pre-processing problems that can happen, that whether this set of data, in what way we should clean so that making proper output will be better. So you can use this specific chat room for your own purpose if you are interested in data pre-processing. Similarly, we have a job opportunities chat room available, in which, like, if you want to get certain recommendations, or if you are open for certain job roles, you can put it there. And if somebody is available in that particular domain, or looking for that kind of requirements, or want to recommend you somewhere, they can help you from this chat room only. So this is a brief idea that this application have, and for each members you can see there is a profile with which you can understand that currently what kind of support that members are providing in this community. Like if you can see about me, I have just written down that I'm a data science enthusiast, and currently where I'll be working with. Similarly, you can see Himanshu, he's helping me with the community building thing with this application. So this is his details. Apart from it, I think there are other members like with us. There is a Mahesh who is a data science enthusiast, and he is helping us with the statistical analysis that is going on within this application. So all those sort of basic information is present for different users who are being a part of this community. So I think after just ending this conversation, we'll just giving start giving invites to all the member who are being part of this discussion or event, so that you can onboard yourself with the Datatalk community. And I think this is the thing that we want to convey to all the people that has joined today. Uh, so I think I'll make a sense. So I think that's enough, right, Himanshu? Or should we do a bit more explanation about the platform? Okay, Himanshu is not available right now. So what we can do, we are ready to take question answer from the participants who have certain queries that they want to put to Shashank or anybody else. So
Yeah.
yeah, you all are open for the question answers, please.
Yeah. Akash, I'm new to this group. Today only I joined this group. Can anybody hear me, Akash?
Yeah, yeah, you can hear.
Yeah,
We can hear.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm Shankar.
please.
Currently, I'm working in digital technology as a data scientist with
Okay,
4.5 years experience.
got it.
I know what is this? Is this one new application you developed, and we all come together? We'll discuss about this one. Data Talk. Is that?
Yeah, yeah. So this is the, I think, community that we have built. Okay, and
Okay.
this is completely dedicated for the data science people. Okay, so that they can have a meaningful and means content driven communication with the people who are really interested and passionate about data science, right?
Yeah, but what is in LinkedIn also we can get the link, right? Data science link. Everyone will be there in there. What is the difference between that one and this data tech separately?
So yeah, yeah. So in the LinkedIn there may be a community available, or there are you can also have a profile, right?
Yeah.
So what specifically we are looking in the Likemind application. Likemind is a completely community dedicated application. Okay,
Mhm.
like if I'll talk about the LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a professional dedicated platform, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of professional people available, and they are trying to connect with each other to get a bit more idea about professions. But in the Likemind application, we are focused on a particular field. Okay, and we are trying to connect with all those particular field people. This is one thing. Second thing I would like to say is that in data science field as well, you may be interested with certain problem statement that you want to focus, like you want to focus only you are more focused towards the Kaggle competition that is happening, and you want to have a bit great team who are completely involved with the that kind of discussions. So you can put your details there, and other people who is interested and passionate about the problem that you are trying to solve with the Kaggle competitions, they can join you. Apart from it, you might be interested in the computer vision or NLP problems that is being happening, or your main focus towards that kind of problem. So you can be a part of only that chat room, you can follow only that chat room, and all sort of communication can happen only related to this field. Okay, so that you don't focus on other stuffs that is not making too much sense to you. Okay, and you'll be getting to the point answers from the people who are expert in that field, who are passionate about their field.
Okay. Okay.
I think, yeah. So thanks for the question. Anybody else want to make certain questions? So we are open for questions, I think. So I'll just share with you all over the chat the link through which you can get onboarded on the Like Minds app. So do join. Otherwise, also we'll be making mails and over SMS we'll be giving you that link so that you'll be able to onboard it on the community platform and have a great conversation or find like-minded people as per your field and make your career ahead with that. So just give me a moment. So I think in the chat I have posted the link through which you all can onboard on the platform. Okay, and then we'll start making fruitful conversations in the data science field. So I think that's all just we want to focus on today. I would like to thank Shashank for being here today and Himanshu for supporting about the like-mind application with our community. So thanks everyone, I think.
Thank you. All the best, guys.
Yeah.